All right. What's up, guys? You know who it is. Marcus J. Jackson with another Live Life for you. All right. Shout out to my YouTube family. Thanks for the subscriptions. If you have not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. Click the link, comment, share, like. What's up to my Facebook family? Good to see y'all this morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is the Live Life series, and I decided to do this series to bring awareness to suicide and suicide prevention. All right. So next month, coming up real soon, is Suicide Prevention Month, and I am glad to be here tonight. All right. This is part 2. Okay. So we're going to dive into it real quick because I didn't get to cover a lot of information that I wanted to cover yesterday. So, and some people said they were disappointed about missing the live. So I said, don't worry, I'm going to do a part 2. So it was a pretty good one last night. So you know what it's about. If you are in danger of yourself, and you are in danger of causing harm to someone else, please hop off this video and call 911. All right, make the call, get you some help. All right, if you need someone to talk to, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, all right, is 800-273-8255. Again, that's 800-273-8255. You need to call and talk to them and use some of the resources that they have available to you. All right. What else? Please feel free to reach out to me if you want to talk to me personally at 469-626-7486. All right. I make myself available every night between the hours of 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. Okay. Although you can contact me, 24/7, you feel free to call. I may not answer because during the day I'm a realtor, and I'm probably either showing a house or talking to someone on the phone about a house. Okay, I'm also a life coach, so I will be with clients and talking to clients. So if I do not answer, please leave me a message or shoot me a text message. And like I said, if you need immediate assistance, 911 is available, and the Suicide Prevention Lifeline is available for you as well. Okay. So there's plenty of resources out there, guys. You can always wait until next week to transition yourself. All right. And you can always wait until after this video to transition yourself, because you'll find that there are people that feel the same way you do. You are not alone. There is nothing wrong with you. Okay. I'm here to tell you that a lot of people have thoughts of suicide. A lot of people are ready and willing to check out, but there is something that's keeping them here, and they're thankful for it, right? So that's what you have to find something, find a reason to stay, right? And hopefully, this Live Life video can be an outlet for you. It can help out in some kind of way. So if it brings you any value whatsoever, please share it. You never know who could use the information. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive into it, right? Because I ran out of time yesterday. I just kind of went, as the information came, I just let it go. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Get grounded. Bring ourselves back to our bodies. Right? Back to our minds. Become fully conscious of who we are and what we're doing. All right? Last time, deep breath. Wow. All right. Okay. Now, so this part 1 was pretty much about I need something to get me through the day, right? And yesterday it was I had a conversation with a young man who inboxed me saying that, one, he didn't see God in what I was doing, or I need to acknowledge God in what I was doing. And I listened to him. I mean, of course, we were typing back and forth in inbox. And I just simply, I listened to him. I mean, I read everything he had to say, and I advised him, things that you can do right now. Okay, if you're one thing I want to get clear, if you're with someone, or you know of someone, or you yourself are thinking about suicide, okay, one of the things that I want you to remember as something that you need right now. Okay, if you need something to deal with this instant, I want you to think about who's going to find you, right? Once the act is committed, who's going to think about who's going to find you, right? And think about how that's going to make them feel. Think about the pain that you feel now and how great that is, right? Think about how great the pain is going to be when that person or that someone, walks in and finds you, in all of the gory details that goes behind it. Okay. Because, it's not, I've been on calls where, a person is supposedly, going to commit suicide, and the after effect or the aftermath is not pretty. Okay, it is a very, very scarring sight. All right, so I will say that, and I just want you to think about that. I mean, if you need something to kind of really hit home and to really, bring a thought process to your mind, then I want you to think about who's going to find you once the act is committed. All right, so that's one thing that I can guarantee that it's going to leave a scar, emotional scar, right? When somebody sees a loved one like that. Okay. So he wanted something. He insisted that all these, techniques and everything that you're talking about, and, all, the knowledge and all this kind of stuff, people need something right now. And I said, well, sir, what would you recommend? Like, what would you recommend me give the people, that so they can have some type of instant gratification? What is it that, what do you think? So he said that, prayer, they need prayer. And I said, okay. Okay. I mean, I get it. I totally understand what you're saying, but prayer doesn't heal depression, and prayer doesn't heal anxiety. Prayer isn't a right now remedy for all life's issues. And I understand. I grew up in the church, so I understand. Pray about it. I've heard family members and things of that nature. My own mother and father, and stepdad were, my stepdad was a pastor. My mom was the first lady, and I understand. I totally get it. But if someone needs something right now, that instant gratification is something that kind of plays a big part in what goes on. So, I don't have any right now things that's going to stop you in your tracks from doing whatever it is that you want to do. Right. I mentioned to the young man, cry. If you need an instant release of emotion, right, and you need to a balancing of hormones, cry. Right. Cry. If you, if things have gotten that bad and you need to, release stress and emotions, cry. You can scream, scream out as loud as you possibly can. Go to the car, right? So one of my clients that I deal with that has anger management issues, I tell him, when you start to get this, it's a panic attack is what he's actually having. And I say you start feeling these things, right? This overwhelming emotional urge. Your heart rate starts to beat, and you start feeling anxious, and you start feeling like you're running out of time. You're getting closed, and you get claustrophobic. You need to go outside, right? Go to your car, let the windows down, okay? And park out to the back of the parking lot or wherever you are and scream. Scream as loud as you can. Let the windows up. If you feel like you're embarrassed or something like that, but at this point, I really don't think the thoughts of other people is something that you should be concerned about, right? I mean, I'll say that in all confidence. Let me make sure my cameras are rocking and rolling. Okay, cool. Definitely. Okay. So yeah, I mean, other people's concern is not something that I would be worried about at all. Because right, if you need something right now, you need something to get you through the day, right? Crying, feeling your emotions, actually taking time to feel your emotions, right? Because we've all our lives as men, you hear big boys don't cry, they fight, or big boys are tough, as a child you're a man, toughen up, you don't cry. You know what I'm saying? What are you sad for? There's no reason to be sad. There's no reason to cry. There's no reason to be upset. And as women, they have they've been told just be quiet about it, just hush about it. Don't keep that to yourself. Things of that nature. Never ever being taught to feel your emotions or to respond to the way that you feel, right? It's always a coping mechanism for parents, when I was growing up, to, pray about it, right? And that's probably where this young man's got that thought process from. And you pray about it, and, it doesn't change. You still have anxiety attack. You still have a panic attack. You're still depressed about whatever it is you were depressed about before you started praying. Okay. And it's time to have other tools, right? It's time to evolve from that. Okay. It's time to stop telling the young ladies to be quiet about stuff. It's time to stop telling the young men that they need to be toughen up or they're a punk because they're crying about something. There's times where you need to cry, like you have to cry, and just like there's times where you have to laugh, you need to laugh. Crying is a very therapeutic way of releasing that toxic buildup, because a lot of times we don't understand that stress is cumulative. Like it's not just you're not instantly stressed. It's cumulative, and you have to find a way to deal with it on a more than just a physical level, right? It has to be a spiritual release that comes into play as well. All right, and when you cry, it's gonna release those toxins that are built up over time from stress, right? And a lot of people say, well, you'll feel better. All you need is a good cry. That is absolutely right. That is absolutely right. And laughing. Think about how much better you feel, after you have laughed. Okay. That's why you want to surround, especially at times when you're down, right? You want to surround yourself with people that are happy, people that are, that display positive vibes, people that just have a positive influence in your life overall. Okay. It's and for some of us, I understand that is easier said than done. Trust me, I understand. And to add to that, I want you to know that there are people out here who care about you and love you without wanting something from you. All right. Especially to my young ladies. You need to hear that that somebody loves you and doesn't want anything from you, right? Because a lot of times, you know, and men too, you know, there's people out there that love you and don't want anything from you. All right, that is possible, and I'm here to tell you that it's possible because I love you and I don't want anything from you. You know, I want you to stay here, live your life, whatever it is that you're here to understand and experience. Okay, that's what it's for. And also keep in mind that all of the so-called bad experiences that we have, and you know, the dis-ease of the body, and the unfortunate deaths of people, and so on and so forth, of our mates, the breakups, you know, the divorces, the you know, the failed attempts at business, the firing from jobs, you know, the fender benders, or, you know, all the way up to the fatal accidents, you know, or getting pulled over by the police, you know, getting a ticket and so on and so forth. All of that happens for a reason. And I know that almost seems cliche, you know, and I know, because I get tired of hearing it. You know, I get tired of hearing people say, oh, well, everything happens for a reason. I get it. But when you really think about it, you know, there's a balance that has to take place, right? And if things aren't balanced, then you have to, there has to be some balancing, or the universe is going to cause a balancing for you. Okay, just like when I used to work security, right? I would work probably anytime, you know, I would go in from 3 to 11 at night, right? Sometimes on my regular shift. Then after I got off, I would work like overnight at a Waffle House, or you know, any of the restaurants like IHOP, or I would do club security overnight, you know, that opened up, you know, they would open up the after hours clubs and so on and so forth from like 11 to maybe 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, right? Or I would find another job, guarding a construction site or something like that, right? And it's, you never really think, because it's taking a toll on your body and your mind, because you're getting money, right? I got to do what I got to do. I'm getting paid. I gotta get these hours in, and you know, I gotta find the part-time job that's making the most money, right? I gotta wherever I can do, that's what I gotta do, right? I totally get it, and because I used to be there, I used to be there, I used to be there, and there was a time where I was working so many hours and going for so long without sleep. I was sitting at the stoplight, falling asleep, right? I was literally asleep at the stoplight, foot on the brake, right? Knocked out. Then somebody blows the horn and I'm like, oh shit, let me go. You know what I'm saying? So I know I know what it is. You know, I know how hard it can be. But the balancing had to take place at some point, right? So working 16 to 20 hours a day took a toll on my body. So now I'm driving after I've fallen asleep at the stoplight. I'm driving down the road or the highway, and my eyelids start to fade. And I'm like, oh, you know, I can't keep my eyes open. You know, so I barely make it home, right? Because I'm so tired. After a while, you know, I got my routine. You know, I get in the house, I put my stuff down, you know, the whole routine, get me something to eat, you know, take a shower, lay down, because I'm about to get up in about 3 hours, right? So I lay down, I forgot to set my alarm clock, right? Forgot to set my alarm clock. I was that tired. You know, I was that tired. I forgot to set the alarm clock. I ended up sleeping. I think I got home at maybe 7, 8 o'clock that morning. I ended up sleeping till 7, 8 o'clock that night, right? So I had missed, you know, an entire shift almost of working, right? Because I in a few hours, I was supposed to be at 10 o'clock. I think I was supposed to be at I was going to do construction site security at one of these places. And the guy, I called and told him, I said, hey man, I overslept, and he fired me. He was like, I don't need you, there's no need to call me anymore. So whatever, And I'm just like, wow, that's wow. But and so am I to say I was treated unfairly, or am I to say that I was, I was duped, or my prayers weren't answered because I forgot to set my alarm clock? Or is it the guy's fault? Is he unfair for firing me, or not firing me, but saying he no longer needed me? That's the same thing, So whose fault per se is that, right? It is the universal balancing, right? So at some point, your mind is going to get tired, right? From doing so much, going. Your mind's going to get tired, and you're going to forget something, or something's going to happen, right? Or there's going to be this minute detail that you would pay attention to had you got enough sleep, right? And it happened to me. It happened to me, and I sucked it up. Hey, I work security, and I got experience. I'll find a job, easy. But that one was one of the highest paying in the city. So, whoop-de-doo on that. But hey, I'm glad, I'm glad it happened, because I needed to sleep. Like I literally, like my body, I forgot. So the universe arranged it for me to fall asleep and sleep almost 12 hours, So that's how it happens, guys. And, that's something that we just have to accept, that things are going to happen, right? We're going to have these missed details, and things are going to happen that we don't know. We don't have all of the control, and they're going to operate outside of our control, right? It's, and I know a lot of us like micromanaging things, but that's not the case, right? There is a balance, and the universe will maintain that balance at the cost of you getting your sleep, or whatever it is in your life that you need to balance out. All right. It's just what is. OK. So yesterday I didn't get to the practical things that you can do. Like I always try to give something practical that I can do. And I jotted down some things that you can actually do to get you through the day. Right. Because a lot of times we don't really, matter of fact, let me look at the comments real quick, and I'm about to go get me some coffee. Let's see less. All right. Check the comments here. All right. I'll be right back. All right, back in action. Yeah, man, I had to give me some coffee. So if you didn't know, this is a very, very informal platform. Feel free to make comments. If you need to go get you some coffee, take a break and go get you some coffee right quick. All right, you can always pause this video. So anyway, let me put, man, if you have never put honey in your coffee, right? Hey, all it takes is about 3 drops, right? You don't even need a lot. And it tastes F-O-F, full of flavor, Jack. Yep, it is very, very good. So you just learned something tonight. You don't have to put that much sugar in it. The honey lasts for a long time. I think I had this sucker for like some months. right? Don't take a lot at all. Very, very good stuff. So tonight I'm going to talk about some, practical things to do that I didn't get to touch on last night. So I had to go to the Bible and explain that, this has a becoming the strongest version of yourself, and understanding that everything does happen for a purpose. I had to explain that in the Bible, and I wanted the people to have a reference, biblical reference, scriptural reference, so that way they can find, these things. And maybe, if the Bible is something you lean on a lot, to make your life decisions, then, hey, I can go to the Bible and we can work with it that way as well. Okay. Anyway, so you need something right now, right? I need something to get me through the day right now. So this can be this is a how to get through the day. All right. How to get through the day if I am feeling anxiety, if I'm feeling depression, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, and I want to, and I feel like suicide is my only other alternative and my only other option. I want you to know that there is something that you can do, and I'm about to give you some things that you can do right now, starting this minute. All right. So if you were paying attention, I already gave you 2: laughing and crying. Right. That's 2. Laughing and crying. Cry. Sometimes it's good to release those emotions and release that tension. All right. So one of the main things that kind of helped me with my business is making a schedule or making a daily plan. Right. In our minds, if we have something to look forward to, we have an expectation. Right. That keeps us looking forward and moving forward with the forward progression throughout the day. Right, because we have an expectation of seeing something or seeing somebody at the end of the day, or at the end of a certain amount of time. Okay, so if you need something to get you through the day, what better else is to plan out your schedule? So right now, get you a pen and a piece of paper and start writing out what you're going to do right after you get off this video, and be as detailed as possible. Okay, maybe once I get off this video with Marcus, I'm going to do some breathing techniques, right? I'm going to breathe deep, right? Inhale, allowing air to fill the belly. All right. I'm going to hold it. I'm sorry. Inhale, allowing the air to fill the belly. I'm going to hold it I'm going to breathe in for 6 seconds. I'm going to hold it for 3. Then I'm going to breathe out for 6 seconds and hold it for 3. All right, write that down. Do that as soon as we get off this video. Do it. Do it about 20 times. Get 20 deep breaths in, 20 cycles of 6-3-6-3. All right, that is. I'm telling you, I'm giving y'all all my secrets, man. All right, make a plan. Schedule out what you're gonna do after this video. I'm gonna sleep until 8 o'clock in the morning. At 8 o'clock, I'm gonna get up, go to the bathroom, pee, all right, get up, get off the toilet or get, flush the toilet. Then I'm going to go over to the sink, cut the water on, run a little water under my toothbrush, put some toothpaste on there, brush my teeth, or baking soda, or whatever y'all brush your teeth with. Do that, all right? A plan. Something that you have expectations to do. And if you need to literally take that piece of paper and follow everything that you're doing, maybe you need to put this facial treatment on that you've been skipping because you don't have time, right? Or, maybe you need to do your eyebrows or trim your beard, or I don't know. Anything that you need to do it. Put that on your schedule. Put that on your daily plan, okay? After you get out of the restroom, you're going to fix yourself some breakfast. Write that down. Write down what you're going to eat for breakfast this morning or the next day. Okay. So as you do it, as you first begin it, you're writing down everything that you do. So tomorrow you have your whole day planned out from the the time you wake up or the time you get through watching Marcus on Live Life, Go Live, right? As soon as you get through watching, you got your whole night, the rest of your night playing out, the rest of your morning, and all the way until you, if you're put down, also, if you're at work, right? Put down a plan to put on that schedule, add to that plan that, hey, I'm going to take a 5-second breathing break. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to allow air to flow through my diaphragm and into my brain so I can get more oxygen to my brain. Doesn't take but maybe 5 seconds, 5-10 seconds, right? If you can't take a 5-10 second break to take a deep breath at work, something's wrong. Okay, something's wrong, and it needs to be fixed immediately. Something's out of balance. All right, so that needs to happen often. You need to take some deep breaths, do some diaphragmatic breathing is what they call it. All right, and allowing your belly to fill, allowing the chest rise towards the end of the breath, and blow it out and get that oxygen flowing through your body. And that's your air. That's your connection to this body, is the air, is the breath. Okay, so it is very important that you can breathe and allow oxygen to flow through the body. Okay, guys, and especially if you're sitting at a desk, make sure you schedule some time to stand up and stretch. You know, stand up and walk around your desk at work, or stand up, you know, maybe do a couple of squats, you know, up and down or something to get your blood flowing, right? And schedule on your schedule, when you make your daily plan, schedule 2 or 3, 5-10 second breaks. All right. So you can do some breathing, so you can do some moving around. All right. Moving and breathing is detrimental to our health. Okay. Like you have to do that. It's very, very important. It's not detrimental. I don't mean it's detrimental, but it's very important to our health. All right. We have to do that. It is extremely important that we keep in mind that we move and breathe. Okay. So, this number one, make a plan, make a schedule, right? Write it out and be as detailed as possible. Number 2, right? Appreciate what you have, right? This is going to require that you become present, right? Appreciate what you have and be grateful and be thankful for it. Okay. Whatever situation you're going through, it could definitely be worse. All right. I'm just going to say it. It can definitely be worse. The fact that you were able to wake up this morning, the fact that you were able to take a deep breath this morning, the fact that you have control over your limbs, right? The fact that if you're healthy, even if you're not healthy, you are still here at this moment in time to understand how to heal, right? And you can, you don't only have to listen to this. You can Google, anything I'm saying, right? That'll help you with your health, right? It's definitely something that you want to pay attention to, right? Regarding just the state of mind. So accepting the fact that, there are things in this world that you should be appreciative of, right? At some point in your life, you have had a happy moment. Although you're going through a depression now, or you're feeling anxiety at this point in time. At some point in your life, you laughed, you smiled about something, someone or somebody or something made you smile or made you happy. So I would invite you to take a moment and reflect on who that was and what you were doing, right? And don't take that for granted, right? Those thoughts and memories are there for times such as these, okay? And I urge you to tap into those happy moments, those happy thoughts, and what was it that you were doing? Write it down. Write down what you were doing at that time and reflect on that. think on that. And how do I mentally reattach myself to that happy moment in order to fuel my experience going forward, so that now I have another alternative, or there is another option besides suicide. Okay? Because like I said, the depression is not something that it's going to go away instantly, right? And anxiety is not something that's going to go away instantly, right? There's a process in which these things, you have to make a conscious decision to do so. Okay, you have to make a conscious decision to do so, and a part of that process is finding out things that you're thankful for, right? So appreciate the situation that you're in now for what it is, right? Be thankful for what it is and accept what it is and move through it. And I think that's my third one. So that was number 2. Appreciate what you have. Don't take it for granted. Number 1 was make a plan, make a schedule, be as detailed as possible, right? And my third one, accept the situation for what it is and learn from it. Okay. So that's kind of going back to what I was saying earlier. Everything happens for a reason, right? And there are people out there that they have a difference of opinion, and whatever belief system they subscribe to. They say, well, everything can't happen for a reason, because if that was the case, why would this happen? Or if that was the case, why would that happen? And it's almost like they are forgetting that there's a balance that needs to happen throughout this world, and this realm of world in which we live in. Everything is operated off of a balance, and if something is out of balance, then it's going to be fixed. It may not be fixed the way that we want it to. Things may not, things that may seem unjust to us is required for the balancing of the universe, right? So I was having a conversation with a young man today, as a matter of fact, and he was talking about how could everything happen for a reason. So if I say everything happens for a reason, right? And this is something that he was battling within himself. If he says everything has happened for a reason, that means his mom having cancer happened for a reason, right? He doesn't see any reason for his mom to have cancer. And I said, I totally understand. I get it. With that being said, are you aware, what kind of cancer it was? And if you do, how did cancer form in the body, right? Was there anything she could have done to prevent the cancer? Has she adopted a healthy lifestyle in the past, right? So, and it turns out his mom had, what we would call a rough life. And I would even take a step further and say a very exploratory life. And a lot of times when we have a very exploratory life, we kind of have to accept the balance that's going to come from that, right? So if you're having a very exploratory life, when you're doing all kinds of drugs and you're drinking and smoking and doing things that cause the body to be imbalanced, there's not a lot that you can do to keep the immune system functioning. Okay, so the immune system has to have a balance. You can only throw so many toxic things like drugs and weed and pills and popping prescriptions and drinking and a lot of staying up and late at night and so on and so forth. These things take a toll on your body, and your organs are trying to do as best they can. But if you're continuously forcing drugs and alcohol down your system, then it's only a matter of time. Your system is going to say, "Okay, that's enough. You gotta. I'm I'm starting to get sick. The liver is calling out to you saying, hey, I'm starting to get sick, man. You're pumping me too much. You're pumping in too much alcohol. You know, and then my kidneys are not toxin. You know, the kidneys are the detoxifier, and my kidneys aren't. You know, if your kidneys aren't working enough, then you know you're gonna have dialysis. And if you know what I'm saying, like there's a balance. So in order to balance out the effects of an exploratory lifestyle, you know, with all kind of, you know, drugs and, you know, recreational activity that is deemed illegal in some countries, it's, you know, your body's gonna balance out. Okay, so and I told the young man, I said, I mean, that's something that we, you know, one of the tough things that we have to and I know it's easier said than done, but it's hard for us as human beings to accept the fact that it's our fault, or, you know, that it's our fault that something happened. You know, maybe you didn't take care of your body good enough, so that's why you have cancer. Or you know, I just, like, you know, well, then you say, well, what if I couldn't, you know, well, I couldn't afford the right food to eat, or I couldn't afford to health care and so on and so forth. Then, okay, fine, granted, that was the situation, the cards that you were dealt with, and at some point, that's just the way it was. You didn't have the proper food to eat, and that's what happened. You grew up, and there was a food desert where you were, so you grew up on Takis and soda, you know, and now, you know, you have you know, esophageal problems and digestive problems and indigestion all the time, and you become an older person, you're bloated, and you know, you have fat from the cortisol increase that hangs, and you know, your knees and stuff are swollen and stiff because all you ate, or all you had access to, is the money. I mean, is the food that you could afford, right? So, I mean, is that your fault per se? You know, I don't know. Was there any point in time did somebody say, hey, you need to adopt a healthy lifestyle? You know, at some point did a doctor say, hey, you know, you have to, you know, try and, you know, adopt a healthier lifestyle, do better, you know, or something like that? I mean, you know, didn't say, well, how can we, you know, how can we when we don't? Because I've heard it before. I've heard it before. If I can't afford these kind of foods, things, so what do I do? Then if that's the case, if that's the way that you look at it, then that's the way it's going to be. All right. You know, that's just the way it's going to be. That's unfortunate, but if at no point in your life, which I find it hard to believe with the internet and with the resources that are readily available to us, there's things that you can find out that you know, a lot of people are concerned about as far as social media and so on and so forth, but they're not concerned about their health, right? So, you know, and I basically had, you know, I had that conversation with him, and he understood, right? And he said, yeah, this is going to be hard to accept, right? He said, wow, you know, I never thought about it like that. So now that, you know, I've introduced another thought process, another alternative in which the way things could have gone, or the way things are going, other than, I don't know why, the victim mentality. I don't know why this is happening to my mom. She's a great lady. She's been awesome. She's treated me fair all my life, and my brother, and she's always been there for us. She loves and cares for us and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, there becomes a balancing, or cause and effect, if you will. Okay? Cause and effect, right? And that was the cause and effect of, you know, what you do. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Accept what it is. Accept it for what it is and learn from it. And focus your energy into moving on forward from it, all right? Check the comments real quick. Okay. Good. All right. So if you just tuned in and you are, you know, on the fence about suicide, and you're trying to make the decision on staying with us, you know, please tune into the video. If not, you need someone to talk to right now, this minute. Call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-8255. It's in the description as well. All right. If you are in danger of hurting yourself or someone else, please call 911. Hop off the video now and call 911. All right. So number 3, accept the situation for what it is and learn from it. Number 4, protect your mind. All right. And this is a good one. All right. And I want you to get you something to write with. Okay. Because within protecting your mind, there's going to be some like sub points that I'm going to throw in there as well. Fix this back so I can see. So, okay. So with that being said, okay. Good morning, Richard. All right. So with that being said, protecting your mind, right? Especially protecting your mind from toxic people, right? Toxic people and people that you know are there to drain every little bit of life that you have in you. Okay. And how do you identify those toxic people? If you're around someone and whenever you are with them, they do nothing but complain and they pour all of negative energy out on you. They complain and how bad things are going and how how they can't get out of this situation. And every time they take 2 steps forward, they take 3 steps back. So you're taking on all of this extra stuff, right? And when you leave them, it's like, oh, you get in the car and I'm like, I'm glad I did not. Oh, I'm so glad. Why am I so drained whenever I leave this person's house? Like I'm relieved because I'm no longer in the presence of this person, right? Those are toxic people. Okay, those people who then also on the other side of that, those people who mean you harm. They don't mean you well in any shape, form, or fashion. They're there to use you. They're there to find out whatever it is they can get from you, and they will stay around you as long as times are good, right? And once you start falling off or things aren't looking good for you, they're moved on. You can't reach them. You can't contact them again, right? But the minute you get something good going in your life, they're there, oh, hey, I'm glad this happened to you, blah, blah, blah. When are we going to go celebrate? When are we going to do this? Or when are we going to do that? Because you're back up again, right? You can tell who your real friends are when you start going through depression and anxiety, right? You can tell who your real friends are because they're going to be there for you, and they're going to see and hear the things that you're not saying. They're going to pay more attention to you. All right. Those are the people that you want to surround yourself with, not the people that are going to throw nothing but negativity towards you. Right. They never encourage in what you're doing. They never support anything that you're doing. But they're there to celebrate when it's time to celebrate. Right. And in the good times, never in the bad times, never when you're down in the slumps. They don't want nothing to do with you. Okay. They could care less. Right. But that's what you got to do. Step 1 of protecting your mind and separating yourself from toxic people. Okay. So now that you've taken away something, let's add something positive into the protecting of the mind. Right. So what I did was I started reading. Right. I started reading something positive. Or something that was going to add to my vocabulary, something that's going to add to my my knowledge, right? Something that would give me wisdom or try to either motivate me or something that I know I could learn from. Like, so I like, for example, I like biblical history, right? I'm a history buff. I like ancient times. I like going back into Kemet and what they call Egypt. And studying things of that nature, stuff like the Book of the Dead and things like that, because that was something that I was interested in, right? There's a lot of biblical history books like McClintock and Strong's Encyclopedia, Layard's and Nineveh. Encyclopedia. Those were some books that I was like, wow, so I began to get into a study of myself, right? Because I wanted to protect my mind from the negative thoughts that I was having from, my own self, because at the time I was going through a divorce, and everything was just spiraling out of control. So I had to protect my mind, and I read, and I surrounded myself with people who wanted to see me make it. They wanted to see me come out of this situation and do better. All right. And that's what I did. I began to read. And after reading, I was introduced into meditation. So I would meditate, and learning to go within myself and finding the true me, finding out what it was that I could learn from my situation. And the more time you spend by yourself, you begin to see why, people do the things that they do when they're around you. All right. But if you never spend that time for yourself, or you never come into the knowledge of self, then these things are foreign to you. Right. So take the time to read, get a playlist going. Right. If you got on your phone, get you a playlist going of your favorite motivational speakers. Right. I would have Les Brown. I would have some Tony Robbins in there. I had some John Henry Clark in there. I had some Ben Yochanan. I had some Dr. Smalls in there. A lot of people who were like my mentors. I would listen to them, and I would, go through my day, and I would just reflect on some of the things that they would say, and just having my mind protected, reinforcing my own thoughts, right? And being able to separate my negative thoughts, right, that are from, what was common to society, for me to feel bad and for me to feel like I was a failure because I was going through a divorce, and there was times, I was sad, man. I cried like a baby, but I had to protect my mind. And then in those moments, your mind is vulnerable, and you can veer off to the side, and it will, that's where you will meet Satan. You will meet the other side of yourself, the adversary, right? If you start to fall victim and fall into the temptation of your own negative thoughts, right? That's where you'll meet Satan. You'll meet the other side of yourself, and you will become your own adversary, okay? So make a plan is number one, right? Number two, appreciate the things that you have, all right? Appreciate what you have, all right? Number three, accept the situation for what it is and learn from it. Number four, protect your mind, right? And number five, and probably the most important, the number fifth thing to do, right? If you need something to get you through the day, all right? You wake up in the morning, go outside, right? Get some of that good morning fresh air, right? Go outside, take you some deep breaths, spend some time out there. Put some time in your schedule, right? Because back to number one, we're making a plan. We're making a schedule. So put some time in that schedule to get outside, right? Because when we're kind of confined in these four walls, especially working 40 hours a day or whatever it is that you do, and you're inside, unless you work outside, of course. But if you're inside a building and you got these lights shining down on you, that are, draining your energy per se. Because these are low frequency lights. So you are operating in a much lower vibration when you're inside and you got this artificial light shining down on you. So it's draining, right? It takes a toll on the body, right? So if you're in a building and you got those big giant run lights all through the building, or, and you work in a cubicle and the giant run light is right above you, that's draining. That artificial light is draining your body. So get some sunshine. Get up in the morning, an extra hour earlier, 30 minutes earlier, whatever it is, and get some sunshine, right? If you need to, take a break at work and go outside. right? Don't go to the break room and chill and hang out with everybody else. Like, go outside and get some air. Breathe in some fresh air from outside, okay? Spend some time in the sun, right? Don't go outside and get up under the shade, you know, and get all, you know, afraid of the sun, you know, thinking that you're going to get sunburned or anything like that. Spending maybe 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes tops at the sun, in the sun, you're not going to get sunburned. You're not going to die or anything like that. It's going to help you. It's going to rejuvenate you, all right? That's what the sun does. It brings energy, solar energy into the body. It revives the body. So just imagine if you're outside or you're going outside and you're getting that, you're breathing deep, right? Like I told you, the 6363, you're breathing deep, right? And you're getting that sun rays hitting you real good. You're taking deep breaths. And after about 3 to 5 minutes, you're feeling great. You're right. You're recharged. And now you have something to get you through the day, right? And moreover, you're going to also start a workout plan, right? Or a walking plan, okay? So if you can, if you have time to change clothes at work or whatever it is you do at work, if time permits, walk for 15 minutes. You got a 15-minute break, walk for 15 minutes, right? Don't worry about nothing to eat for your 15-minute break unless you take medication, of course. Of course, take your medication, all right? Or you're so hungry that you're about to die. Please don't be crazy with it, okay? But if you got a 15-minute break, grab your snack and walk while you're eating while you take your 15-minute break. Eat your snack while you're walking, right? For 30 minutes. Walk around the building for 30 minutes. When I used to work inside of a building, they would, the ladies would switch their take the heels off and put their walking shoes around, and you'll see them buzzing around the building, getting their walk on, right? You can do that too. Take some time to walk. You on your 30-minute lunch, or some of y'all have hour lunches, walk around that hour. You don't have to walk fast, walk slow, whatever is comfortable for you. But you want to get some outside air. You want to get some sun. You want to be out in the elements, okay? Feeling the breeze, feeling the sunshine, looking at the green grass, looking at the trees, looking at the world evolve, right? So you can see that this is real. So you can see if the trees and the grass can evolve, you don't have a choice but to evolve, okay? Those blades of grass, although it might look like just grass, they're going through their own evolution because they're getting taller and taller, and every week or every 2 weeks it needs to be cut, okay? Because the grass has grown, right? It's evolved from that little bitty blade that got cut 2 or 3 weeks ago into this huge blade that needs to be cut again. Or the trees are evolving because they're changing colors, right? They're no longer green. We're going into the fall, so the trees are no longer going to be green. They're going to be brown and orange. They're going to start to turn soon, okay? So you need to be able to see and visualize the evolution in the world that's taking place, right? And because we don't see these things, we don't really we can't really put words to them because we never see it because we're stuck inside the house, right? Or we're stuck inside at work, or from the house, we get in the car and we see outside, but we're not really out in the elements because we're inside the car in traffic, right? Then we get to work, we go straight from the car into the building, right? No, not a lot of outside time. So we stay in the building, get back in the car, drive home when we get off work, and go straight in the house, right? So no sunshine, none of that. And sunshine has a direct effect on your body's ability to rejuvenate itself, all right? Vitamin D comes from the sun. There's some other vitamins that come, but this isn't a vitamin video, but vitamin D especially rejuvenates the body, lubricates the bones and that connective tissue and so on and so forth, all right? So get outside, guys. Do something that challenges you physically, all right? Run, maybe run some sprints or go to the gym and lift some heavy weights, okay? Take your time, of course. Use the proper body techniques and mechanics, but do something that challenges your body so you can get that cellular regeneration, right? So you can get it deep down into the core of things, right? So you can start rejuvenating from the core. And you can do that by, running sprints or, running as fast as you can, jogging and lifting heavy weights or rebounding, doing jump rope. Or you can get on the little, rebound thing and do some trampoline things, okay? Jump up and down. All right. So that's it. Those were the 5 things that I wanted to bring to your attention, guys, that you can do if you need something to get you through the day. All right. That's it. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I appreciate it. And if you got any value from this video, please share, comment. Feel free to comment. If you need, the number is in the description for the National Prevention Lifeline, 800-273-8255. All right. If you're in danger of hurting yourself or someone else, you need to call 911 to get you some help immediately. Okay. As always, I want you to stay on this side. All right. Learn whatever it is that you have to learn and live life to the fullest. Okay. Learn everything that you can possibly learn in this life, so that way you may not have to repeat it. Okay. Y'all take it easy, man. Try not to do too much. If you want to donate or you need personal consultation, the information is right there. The Cash Me is I Speak Foxy. The I Speak Foxy organization focuses on those who have been victim of sexual assault and abuse. Okay. We have Foxy is the founder of the organization. She does lectures. She donates clothes. She donates toiletries, and a lot of that comes from donations. But a lot of it also comes from her own pocket. She pays it on her own dime. So feel free to donate there. And again, thank you. Y'all take it easy and try not to do too much. Peace.